This not your average podcast. You ain't talking about nothing. When they hit the highway, yeah, they talking about something. Better tune in and listen. Get the scoop they digging. It's just an open discussion. Now tell me what's your position. This not your average podcast. You ain't talking about nothing. When they hit the highway, yeah, they talking about something. Better tune in and listen. Get the scoop they digging. It's just an open discussion. Now tell me what's your position. Lady Roscoe on point, she gon' tell you the drill. You got Yoko Camille, all work, no play, she gon' give you the spiel. Let's talk about it, what's the truth? They just keeping it real. Square business, that's the deal. They gon' speak on something, just pick a topic, get it poppin'. Not your average type of show, they keep it rockin', ain't no stopping. Controversial, who cares? We taking over, keep on watching. Motion steady on go, anticipation got 'em flocking. Ain't nothing average about it, just keep glad that you found it. Tell a friend about it, know we all about it, so we gon' speak about it. Yoko Camille and Lady Roscoe, leave no doubt about it. Scream it out from the mouth. This not your average podcast. You ain't talking about nothing. When they hit the highway, yeah, they talking about something. Better tune in and listen. Get the scoop they digging. It's just an open discussion. Now tell me what's your position. You know what it is. Not your average podcast. You know what I'm saying? Yoko Camille, Lady Roscoe. Y'all tap in. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for tuning in to Not Your Average Podcast. I'm Lady Roscoe.
And I'm Yoko Camille. And I want to thank you for tuning in, whether you're on the toilet or on the go. Let's sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, and make sure you follow us on our social media handles.
That's Not Your Average Podcast on Facebook. And on Instagram, it's NOT_ Your Average Podcast TX.
Yes, and make sure you also follow our personal social medias as well, which mine is going to be Lady Roscoe, LAYDIE_ROSCOE.
And on Instagram, you can find me at Yoko Camille. That's YOKKOCAMILLE. Find me on Instagram and Facebook with that same name.
Awesome. So let's get into today's episode.
Yes, today we're talking about our pets, right?
Yes, all about our pets. So, yeah, I have a couple of pets. Do you have some pets?
I do. I have two. I have two pit bulls. I did have three. The first one was it was supposed to be a poodle.
Yeah.
But it ended up not being a poodle. I'll tell that story in a minute, though.
Right.
How many pets you have?
You know what? It's funny. I just said a couple, but I forgot. I've got like 3 fish, so that counts.
It does. It's a pet. Yeah.
Right. So those are supposed to be my sons, but I find myself cleaning out the tank all the time.
Right.
But I have 2 dogs, and one is like a Yorkie Shih Tzu mix, and then the other one is a like Chihuahua Italian Greyhound mix. Yeah. So yeah, I got a couple of pets. And how do you like having your pets?
I love having my pets. You know, at times it can be a little trying, but you know, it's just like having a child. You have to take the ups and the downs, and you know, if you wanted it, you got to take your responsibility and do what you got to do. So, you know, how about yourself?
Yes, I feel the same way, because you're training them like kids. You have to potty train them. You have to show them where to eat, where to go. And, you know, it just makes you realize that how much time do you have in a day and how much do you have to dedicate to that?
Exactly. You have to weigh all of it out before you decide to go ahead and get a pet.
Right. And be like, okay, are you sure you're ready for this? And because they can bark when they want to, or I guess cats, you know, meows. I don't have a cat, but you know, I can
scratch
imagine.
climb up on the windows, the curtains, all that crap. Yeah.
That's funny.
I know I was telling you that, you know, I did have 3. My other pet, he passed away about a year or so ago. But he was, when I got him, I was working at a doctor's office, and he was supposed to be a poodle. She showed me a picture of the mama. She was like, oh, this is what he was supposed to look like, you know, when he get big. I'm like, oh, yeah, I want him, you know. And then she was like, $50. I was like, oh, bet. I got it. So after work, I was like, okay, go get my friend. We're going to go get him. He was cute, but he wasn't a poodle.
Lies.
He was, you have a Chihuahua.
Right.
Mine was a Chihuahua and Jack Russell.
Nice.
So he was a little scrappy little thing, yeah.
Definitely not a poodle.
Not a poodle at all.
That's funny. Let me see. My dogs. The first one I got, I got her when I was living on my own for the first time.
Hmm.
So it was like right when thought I was doing college and stuff like that. And she was supposed to be, they considered her like a designer
Hmm.
breed. So I was thinking, okay, this is cute. I wanted a Yorkie, but not really a
That's
mix.
what I want. Yeah, I want a
Yeah.
teacup Yorkie.
So, but I was like, I guess this is the closest I'm gonna get. So
Hmm.
I got her, and my mom was like, she's a designer mutt. Like, she's not a designer dog, it's a designer mutt. And it's so crazy because I don't know if it was a combination of breeds, but dogs don't sweat, they pant,
Hmm.
right? But she sweats.
Yeah.
So her skin gets like wet.
Hmm.
It's not like a sweat, but it's like you touch her and she used to just get moist. It was just
Yeah.
weird. I
Yeah.
had to Google it, and some dogs have this weird gland that produces like the skin to be moist.
Okay.
So
That's weird, but
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
it
Interesting.
is pretty weird. Yeah. So, and she also had like skin allergies, not as much anymore, but she used to like scratch a lot.
Yeah, that's my dogs. I put Benadryl in their dog food and everything. Otherwise, they won't eat it. But yeah, I try to give them oatmeal baths and stuff like that to help with their skin because yeah, they have really bad allergies too.
Yeah, and that's sad, but well, you have to take care of them like people.
You really do.
So, um, and keeping them potty trained, because
Hmm.
definitely don't want any accidents on the floor.
No, not at all.
No, because I'll be so upset just to step in something. I've paper trained my dogs.
Yeah.
One of them, she refuses to go on the paper though. She'll
Yeah.
hold it until we go outside. I have the other dog, she will go on the paper. So it's like they know when they're supposed to do.
It's true, and you when you get a dog, you have to do your research first. You got to learn to make sure you're ready for a puppy because, like we said, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Right, right.
And I guess that where some of my tips on getting a pet comes in handy. Like the first
Yeah.
one is you have to make sure you're ready. Puppies can be irresistible, but they are extremely time consuming. And if you've never had a puppy, then you might not realize that what you're about to get yourself into.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they're like a newborn baby, and you have to get up at certain times of night to feed them. Um, they need to be fed about 3 to 4 times a day.
Right.
So it's important to make sure you know what you're getting into and make sure you're ready to get a puppy.
Yeah.
Then you have to, make sure that you get the right puppy for you. Do your research to make sure if you want a big or a small dog. Some dogs come with small dogs come with small dogs do better in smaller places. Some bigger dogs can be more expensive and they have a lot of different health problems.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Depending on what breed you get, they could have health issues. So you have to really put that into consideration. And you need to look at where do you find a puppy?
I know places in the okay, look. Some people like to go to these fancy strip malls that have these like $3,000, $5,000 dogs, but sometimes you can get the same dog from like a local breeder,
The animal shelter.
or the animal shelter. One of my dogs is from the shelter, that Yorkie Greyhound, not Yorkie Greyhound, the Chihuahua Greyhound.
Yeah.
Because when I got her, the label said Chihuahua, and I was like, that's not a Chihuahua, like, because her legs are like, she's tall, so her legs are really thin and long, and then her face, and she has like these floppy ears.
Oh, so she got the Greyhound.
Yeah,
Okay.
she looks like a Greyhound, but not a full one. So I was thinking, I was like, it might be an Italian Greyhound Chihuahua mix.
Yeah, and I think it's better to get them from like the animal shelters because there are so many dogs there that need a home.
Right.
And if you don't get the dog, then what are they going to do? They're going to put the dog down, depending, I guess, on what city or state you live in.
Mm-hmm.
So there are all these dogs out there that needs a home. And instead of going by one of these, super expensive or whatever, get one that actually, needs a home and needs love. Because, hey, that's what I do.
That's what happened with my dog, like the Chihuahua, the mix, because she needed love. Because when we were looking for dogs, they were having like a sale that day. I guess normally smaller breeds were like $50 and the larger one are like $75. But they were doing like a sale for $25 for puppies that day. So we went into the puppy area and she was like huddled in the corner. She used to be shaped like the letter C, like, like the scary cats. It's like, so that's how she used to walk around. And I picked her up. I was like, I want that dog. And they were like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. So I picked her up. She peed on me. And I was like, that's the dog you need.
Because she peed on you.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was like, I can save you.
And what you into? No.
No. You're so funny. No, but yeah, I helped. It's funny. We brought her home and she would hide her face. So she never wanted to be like seen, but she was clingy with my son. Yeah. So she would follow him around. But for the longest, she still walked with the letter C in her back. So I used to like push her back down. Yeah. I would be like, it's okay. It's okay. Like you can walk. And now she is just all over the place. She's still, nervous sometimes around new people. Yeah. But she's good.
And also you most have to make sure that you puppy proof your home.
Yes.
Because those little creatures can get into everything and they are so destructive.
Yes.
So you need to make sure you get down on an eye level and make sure that there are no electrical cords that they can get into. You can make sure that your cabinets are locked so they don't get in food, medication, because medication can be expensive, especially if it's for a dog.
Right.
Keep your house plants up high so they can't chew on those because, if you're a plant parent too, those can be expensive too. So
yes,
especially those real ones.
Right.
And keep those stuff up.
Not a joke.
You keep the trash can lid on, and keep your laundry and shoes up because they love chewing on stuff. Like my dogs love chewing on our socks. Socks are their favorite thing to chew on. If you go outside in my backyard, you're going to see a few of my socks out there because they take them and they run.
They're gone.
And you're not getting them out their mouth. So, yeah.
Yeah, my older dog, she used to chew on everything. The adopted puppy from the shelter, she used to pick up coins in her mouth. And at first, I was like, I found a quarter in her mouth. And I was like, the heck is this? So I took the quarter out. She's a small dog. And then I have a story.
Right.
So she was acting weird one day. And she was acting like kind of woozy. And I didn't know what was wrong with her, but I was like, I don't know what's wrong with her. I did ignore it, right? So because she was laying down like normal. But the next day, because they have the puppy pad, the puppy pad had brown on it. Yeah. So I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I knew it wasn't blood, but I didn't know why the dog was urinating brown. Yeah. So I went to the vet and I tried to tell this. Listen to this. I told the vet her symptoms. I said she's acting a little woozy and she's not able to stand up, and I also stated that she's peeing brown. Yeah. They were like, are you sure that she didn't get into like some cannabis? Or I was like, my dog's not high. My dog is not high.
Your dog was high?
My dog was not high. Okay. And I was like, I think she swallowed a penny because she likes to pick up change. And I think they were just not listening. And I was also looking like a bum, but it was also like midnight. Yeah. So I was wearing like my sweatshirt and my hair was a mess. So they just asked me one more time.
So you was looking like me right now?
Yeah, worse. I was looking worse. I was like, cause you look, at least this is something that can
You
walk
just
out
gonna
the
agree
door.
like I look like a bum. Okay, keep going.
No. I was like, oh no. So they took her back, did x-rays. Come to find out, she swallowed 2 pennies.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why she was urinating brown, because of acid in her stomach.
Yeah.
So they were telling me that, now this is a time in my life I can't afford too much, okay?
Hey.
Just put this out there right now, because vet bills can be expensive.
You had to tell me.
And it was like, they were like, okay, so she does have the pennies in her stomach. There's a couple things that you can do right now. Because I was at an emergency clinic. So they were saying that they could try to pump her stomach, but if it doesn't work, I have to find another, like an actual vet clinic to have them do surgery to remove it. And it was going to cost me like $1,200. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, we just got this dog for $25. Like,
look, the same dog I told you that had, I got for $50. Right before he got to fighting with another dog. So, we end up having to take him to the vet. And they told us in order to save his life, it was going to be about $4,500.
Oh wow!
Not all up front. We had to pay like $8 some up front, and then like in the next 3 months, it was going to be, and because he was going to need a lot of help because he had a bunch of holes and everything in him, and it was really bad. And so we told him, we had to go ahead and put him down. And damn, that was still almost $300.
Look.
So you don't have to tell me about expensive.
Right. So I was just like, I can't afford this. And then I'm staring at my son because he's asleep in the car. And I'm like, well, you about to be down one dog, So, but luckily, whatever they gave the dog to pump her stomach, they were able to pump her stomach. Yeah. Okay. And they asked the pennies that I took pictures, but I can't find them. When I find them, I'll see if I can send them. But they had holes in them. Because pennies nowadays are nickel pennies, but copper plated. So the acid in her stomach had put holes in the pennies, and but they had asked to keep the pennies, and I was like, sure, you guys can keep them. I don't need them as long as the dog is okay. Right. But I still had to pay like a $500 bill. So like,
see, that's why you have to make sure everything's up and everything, because it can get ridiculous. Like the pricing for keeping the pets alive and healthy is just as expensive as you trying to take yourself to the doctor and be healthy.
Right.
You also need to stock up on, puppy supplies, because same thing you would do as if you were bringing a new baby home, you need to do when getting a new puppy. Besides this first tip, you don't need a leash for your baby, but you do need a leash for your puppy.
Don't leash your baby. I've seen people put leashes on their kids.
On the kids, but not the baby. That's something totally different.
Right.
Make sure they have an adjustable collar. Your baby don't need a collar either.
No.
It's their bib. Hey, collar, bib.
Collar, bib.
All right. Ceramic or metal pet bowls for food and water. You need the puppy food, a simple dog bed, a dog crate, and some dog toys.
Okay.
You also need, depending on what breed you decide to get, comb, brush, and shampoo.
Right, because some dogs shed and some don't.
That's exactly right. The next tip you need to decide is find the right vet for you, because it's important for your pets first to get a checkup within the first few days, just to make sure that, depending on where you got it from, didn't skip anything. So you want to make sure that they get seen. And then lastly, but not least, is make sure you learn how to raise your puppy correctly. Choose the right diet for your puppy. Begin house training, because like we stated earlier, if you don't correct them earlier, they're going to be a menace when they get older.
Exactly.
One of mine is terrible. She's a jealous, loud little creature. And I don't know if any training gonna change that. I love her to death some days, but
you're like, look, but sometimes you just work with nerves. Girl, be around you, be quiet, like sit down.
But see, her barking is just her wanting attention. Like she bark when people come around, because she's like, oh, new people. Girl, shut up. They see you. They see you.
That was funny.
'Cause you
Look
know
at
it's
me,
true.
I'm here.
You know it's true.
I am here.
Every time you come up, girl, shut up. Socialize your puppy well.
Yes.
Take your puppy on lots of places so they can experience sights, sounds, people, and new pets. Establish a routine that includes exercise because they need to get out and stretch their legs.
Right.
Some dogs are super active, so they can't just be stuck in the house. And that's one thing you need to decide too when you're getting a pet, if you need one that's calm or if you need one that's active. Because if you're not outside all the time and you get an active pet, they're gonna go crazy. So it's very important to make sure that you train your pet and let them get exercise.
Yes. Space. I love space.
Yes.
So I mean, right now because I live apartment life, that's why I do smaller dogs. But if I lived in a house, I've thought about like getting a Doberman Pinscher.
Yeah.
Or the bigger one, not the mini one. You know what I mean?
I know.
There's two of them. So
yeah, it's like the Doberman, the Rottweiler, and the German Shepherds. And those dogs are always seem to be labeled dangerous and bad dogs.
All three of them?
Like the Dobermans, and German Shepherds, and Rottweilers.
Yes.
When the people say dangerous dogs, those are like the main dogs they think of.
My uncle had a Rottweiler. His name was Dude. I think it was Dude. Yeah. And then he had another one, a girl, but she ran away. The dude was he was the sweetest dog ever. Like, he was big.
So do you think those dogs get a bad rep for any reason?
I think that certain dogs probably do, but maybe that's based off of like history.
Yeah, I can see that.
Being trained to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And them and maybe it might be in their bloodline, but I feel like if you give them the love and you know what I mean, like I feel like that would help too.
Yeah, I get it, and that's why, like, I was seeing this article where it was saying, like, the relationship between Black people and dogs is like a multifaceted one.
Yeah. And
it's deeply rooted in the history and shaped by a complex combination of cultural, social, and systematic factors. Back in the day, they used to terrorize Black people with dogs.
Yes.
And especially the German Shepherds.
Right.
And so I feel like that's one reason they have a bad name for them, is because that was one of the dogs that they used to try to instill fear in us when they were having all the riots and everything. That's what kind of dog you see biting and grabbing onto us. So that's one thing that I feel is a reason they have a bad name for them.
They look like they're native to the cold.
Ooh, you said something. But hey, I know my mom wants one, but she's scared of dogs. She was here for the summer when I had hurt my back, and my dogs, like I said, they talk a lot, but they don't mean no harm.
Right.
And one day my boyfriend was letting one of the dogs in, and my mom will go in her room and shut a door if she thinks that dog is gonna come out. So he was like, oh shit. And she thought that dog got loose. My mama ran from the kitchen to the bathroom and shut that door. When I tell you, I've never seen my mom run so fast, and I laughed so hard. Because she was scared, but it was funny but the dog wasn't going to get her. Yeah. And it wasn't even loose. He just went a different way. Aww. But yeah, she was like, she don't care.
She's like, I'm not playing with this.
Not today. Not at all. But yeah, I think, people have to just give them chances like they do us. And, you'll see that not all dogs are bad. Just not like all humans are bad.
Right. But we do have some bad people.
That's true.
So, That's true. Exactly. Not all people and not all dogs are bad.
That's very true.
Looking to have great memories captured in time for you to see whenever you like? Want wonderful photos for any occasion? Then contact Christina for all your unforgettable moments you want to cherish forever. You can go to her Instagram page with Rain and Light, and in her bio she states from Austin, Texas to wherever you are. You can also go to her website, www.withrainandlight.com, and get started with your memories today.
All right, so this is our Am I the Asshole segment, where I read a story that I found very interesting. I read it to you, and we'll give you our opinions and let you know if she's an asshole or not. And you reach back out to us and let us know how you feel about the Am I the Asshole story of the day also.
Right. Yeah. Just leave us comments on our Facebook page and our Instagram as well.
All right. So I, female, late 20s, am the oldest and only girl of 5 siblings. I babysat my brothers growing up, but I wasn't allowed to discipline them in any way. As a result, my brothers fought, hurt each other, broke things, ate food my mom was saving for dinner, etc. I was blamed for all of this and punished. My dad frequently told me to treat them like my own sons. One of my brothers was special needs, meaning medical emergencies could happen at any time. I wasn't always sure what to do, and my parents weren't always easy to get a hold of. I was also voluntold to babysit for my mom's friends for free. They would always stay out for 3 hours late, and I'd be home after midnight. Because of all these things, I made a choice as an adult to never babysit ever again. I have severe anxiety that I've been in therapy for. Coming from my teenage years, due to balancing school, work, extracurricular activities, and babysitting, and feeling like I had no help or comfort in any of my family members. On Christmas, the topic of kids and babysitting came up, and when someone asked if birth order affected personality, there was some back and forth, but I said, I think it does. When I was questioned about my reasoning, I just said that I had to be responsible in different ways, and that I was responsible in different ways that they never had to be. I was told I was being dramatic, then was pushed for more. I asked my youngest brother if he ever had to be responsible for younger siblings, and he, of course, said no. I said that babysitting them put a lot of responsibility on me that I considered inappropriate for my age and maturity level, and that they never had to go through that. I also explained that I had to go without a lot of our parents' attention so they could have it. Example, they missed my fencing tournaments and orchestra concerts to go watch brothers' wrestling practices. After all that, everyone was quiet until my dad said, "So you don't believe in family responsibility?" I explained that I do, but there was a point where the amount of responsibility wasn't appropriate for one kid to handle. I also said that I don't think that kids should be forced to babysit their siblings because it creates an unhealthy dynamic between them. My dad responded with, "I didn't have to feed you or keep you in the house." I asked him what he thought would happen if he did do those things for me as a kid. He said, "I'd have a skinny cold kid." For more context, aside from my wedding and $300 for rent one time, I never asked for anything from my parents, especially after I left at 18. I thought about asking what he thought was his responsibility as a father, but I realized he wasn't taking me seriously, so I dropped the topic. I was told I was being ridiculous and that I should let things go from the past. I'm wondering if I'm the asshole because my parents did need a lot of help with their kids growing up, especially with my special needs brother. I do also believe in responsibility to one's family, but clearly my line is different from theirs. Am I the asshole?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot. There's a lot to dissect here. Do you have siblings?
I do. I have one sister on my mom's side, and I can't tell you how many siblings on my dad's side. I'm not going to even lie to you.
Was a rolling stone.
Hey. Wherever he laid his head was his home. Oh, no, girl.
We'll get it together.
Yes, he was. But no, on my mom's side, I did have to take care of my sister and everything, when she was at work. Some days it bothered me because, when you're a teenager, who wants a little snotty-nosed brat following behind you? But, I mean,
you were like, not me.
She didn't really bother me that much. She wasn't really bad where I had to discipline her a lot. Besides the one time she tried to poison me.
She tried to poison you?
Yes, we were playing.
It sounds exaggerated.
No, it's not. So we were playing doctor.
Okay.
She was the doctor. I was the patient.
Okay.
And you remember the little sweet tarts that's in the pack that you unroll?
Yes.
Okay. So she had some of those, and she was giving me that as medicine.
Okay.
All right. So I closed my eyes. She went in the other room. Yeah. She got some off
Oh, no.
You know those stackable blocks?
Yeah.
She poured some off, sprayed it in there. I heard the shh. If I hadn't opened my eyes in time, she would have poured that in my mouth.
The off?
The off. She was trying to off me. Yeah.
No, not off you.
Yeah, so yeah.
Shut up. What'd you tell her?
Oh, girl, I don't even remember. I just jumped up, and I think my auntie saw her too, and that's how I found out. But yeah, it was crazy. She tried to take me out.
Okay,
So
at least it didn't only happen once. Did she try to take you out?
Yeah, my sister didn't really fight me. I gave her an opportunity once to do that,
Oh.
and that never happened again. Yeah, no.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm the older sister. Ain't
not
taking
messing
no
with
crap.
me.
No.
Okay.
But I love her. I love her to death. I wouldn't do anything or change anything because, she was like my first child. She taught me responsibility, and I get to watch her do the same thing. She helped me with my son, but she always wanted him.
Okay.
A little difference.
Yeah.
Beside
You're
me
like,
forcing her, she wanted to keep him and everything, and she treat him like her first son. And so I do see where she say it puts a little unhealthy dynamic, because instead of thinking of, oh, this is my nephew, or this is my sister, oh, this is my first child, because you've had the responsibility of raising them.
Right. Yeah. I have a brother on my dad's side, but we were not raised together.
Yeah.
So I was raised as an only child. But my mother, she is, her and her brother are twins, and they're the youngest of 6 between my grandma and grandpa. My grandfather has other children, and so my mom is older than her 2 younger siblings, who are actually quite close to my age. Yeah, I haven't had to deal with that. Now, I do have 2 kids myself, and but I don't put that responsibility on my son because he's so young. First of all, he's 11. I mean, he's good. They're good around each other in the room. I like
they
are
are about dynamic. The same. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but they are the same age that me and my sister were.
Okay.
I'm 10 years older than my sister, and my sister's 10 years older than my son. So I was still taking care of her,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that's what I don't want to put on him. So I just, but I do give him responsibility though. I'm like, look, if you guys are in the same room together, don't let her touch an outlet.
Yeah.
Like, don't let her do this. Or if there's something, because right now I don't let him pick her up. So, I said, just tell me what happens. Because it's early, but she's already like trying to crawl. And stuff. I'm like, Lord.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of parents where they expect the child to be responsible for the rest of the kids. And it's not their responsibility to raise them.
Yes.
They can look out and help, but it's not the other child's responsibility to be their other parent for their siblings. Right. Like you're crossing the line. You did the things to get these kids, do the things to raise these kids.
Right.
I mean, hey, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I've been blamed. Well, why you didn't watch her? Because I was doing what I was supposed to be doing in there, not messing up. Well, you wasn't watching her.
Right.
Because you was at work. It's another grown up here.
You're like, oh, look, I'm a kid. Don't blame me. And you actually reminded me of something, because like my friends growing up, they all had siblings, younger siblings. And I had a best friend. She was about 9 years older than her little sister. So by the time her and I were in about the 4th or 5th grade, I think it's 5th grade, maybe something like that. We were in 5th grade, or maybe 6th. I think it was 6th.
No.
Doesn't really matter. Whatever. So we were playing outside, and her little sister was outside too, and she had eaten some berries off of a bush. And I guess those berries were poisonous. I don't know if they really were or not, but her mom had given her a bottle of like Ipecac. You heard of Ipecac? Yeah. So Ipecac is to make you throw up. Yeah. Honestly, I Googled that stuff. It's not even in existence really anymore. I don't think you can find that.
They should have some at Walmart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they had given her some Ipecac, but her mom was mad at her. She was just like, why weren't you watching her? Why were you? This is dangerous, and basically because she wasn't watching her when it happened, she had her sit there and wait to have her sister like go throw up.
No, that's crazy.
And I was like, so I'm the guest, so I'm just gonna hang out too, like you know what I mean. So it just sucked. You could see it in her face, like
you can't expect kids to be able to watch the kids like you can, because even as an adult, when I had my son, he burnt his hand on an iron that was unplugged, like he went and touched it, like real quick. They are so quick. So if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it.
Right.
So no,
and you can't blame your children.
You can't. Like as an adult, you don't always see everything that the child does. So how can you expect a child?
Yeah, and some people
to be responsible.
Like, and some people are like, well, you don't know what it's like, and da da da. I'm like, well, I take care of both my kids, so there's no excuse.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? I work too. I'm busy too. Like I said, if they're in the same room together, then that's fine. But it's not like I'm going and out and it's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, and don't let them not have a life because of their siblings. They are supposed to be able to go out and have fun too. Like they shouldn't have to miss parts of their childhood because they're sitting at home babysitting. Like who wants to stay home from prom or stuff like that?
That'd be terrible.
That's
and,
sad.
There's someone out there existing like that right now. Like they've had to sit out and not be at something that they wanted to be in.
Yes. So, sweetie, I just want to let you know, no, you are not the asshole. Your parents did a better job, especially when it comes to volunteering you for watching her friends' kids without being paid. Like no, if this is my time, I need to be paid for it.
Right. I think I was 13 when I first started babysitting, and honestly, this lady was ripping me off, so she made me not want to babysit no more kids. Her daughter, the lady was a coworker to my mom at the time, and her daughter was maybe like 6, 7. I was like 13. So, and her cousin went to my middle school too. So, but I remember the first night I watched her, her mom, I guess, went out to the club or something. But the first night I watched her, she ate her snacks, but she ate a little too much. So like she kind of threw up, but it wasn't like a throw up, but it was like blue juice and snacks on the floor. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So the next time I went to babysit her, I was like, you know what? We're going to not have as many snacks at a certain time. I'm just going to tell you no. So she had a little attitude or whatever. But the next time her mom had pulled me aside and was like, oh, well, my daughter said that you're not letting her eat. That you're telling her no, she's not allowed to eat. And I was like, that's not true. Did she tell you that she threw up on your floor?
Because kids will lie.
I cleaned up your floor.
Kids will lie.
Like, come on now. Like, we're not going to do that to me. No. So yeah, I understand, and not being able to discipline children. And then you want me to watch them. Of course, I was babysitting, so it's not the same, but
you still have to make them mind too, because they will try to get over on you too. Like, no.
Exactly.
So no, sweetie, you are not the asshole.
You are not. And this is Music with Lady Roscoe, where we talk about current, past, and present music, entertainment, just for the best eaters. Okay, so that audio clip you just heard, that was Big Mama Thornton. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, you should recognize a song that she originally sang. It was called Hound Dog, and that was written by Jerry Leiber and Mike Stroller. So the song that was sung by Mama Thornton, that was a song that was about a woman who was coping with her man seeing another woman.
Oh, okay.
So basically cheating.
Okay, mama.
Right. So, a hound dog, a man up in these streets.
Okay, I get it. I feel you.
You know what I mean? So she's calling out her man for being in these streets, sniffing other women's, stuff. So, and we can relate, you know, when we give these analogies to people with animals, and sometimes men can act like dogs.
Boy,
Sometimes,
who you telling?
you know, they just be. You can go out. Let's just say you're like single women, right? And you're going out, and just men are sniffing you out, basically, like while you're in the club, and they're just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And da, 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 da. Like it's like they're tracking you or something.
Ooh, what's that smell?
Girls.
No, I get it. But in the cheating part, like,
Yeah.
I've had an ex-boyfriend like be a narcissistic hound dog, where my grandma has passed and he didn't have the money to help me get back home to get where I needed to go. So I asked a friend that I went to school with, because we were close, and he gave me the money to get home. You know, this man got mad and told me I should have asked him. Dude, you didn't have a job. What was you gonna do?
What were you? And then if you found out, if I asked someone at the time, you would probably make me feel bad.
He rode with me though. He rode with me to the person's house to get the money. That's the thing.
Then you obviously weren't worried about giving you
at
money.
all. My grandma was in the middle of dying. Why would I be concerned about trying to get you to get it if you didn't have it?
Because we don't have the time for that.
No, you. It was a lot. So narcissistic, lying hound dogs. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand, Mama.
I've dated guys like that before. Nothing like a serious relationship, and I think maybe that's why it doesn't get serious, because it's like I dated a guy. This was years ago, but he knew I was a serious girl, and that's the sad thing is they know a lot of times that these girls are serious, but they want to be around the serious female, but at the same time be out and doing what they want to do, keep you separate, you know, and they want you to maintain a certain image, while they just do whatever they want to do and just go out and be who they want to be with. So yeah, I liked her concept of, you know, that song as well.
So when did you say she came out again?
So that particular song of Hound Dog was recorded back in like 1953.
Okay.
So she actually had that song reused. And that song was reused and taken by Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And he used more of like a rock and roll type of vibe than the bluesy type beat. He was more, because, you know, I almost said Eminem, another white guy doing hip hop. Elvis, you know, I was watching a little bit of like about that movie with him in it. I didn't see everything, but it was trying to explain that he was going to black churches, and that was where his influence came from, when it came with the dancing and the moving and the oh wow and stuff like that.
Him stealing stuff.
You know.
So do you feel like he enhanced the song, or do you feel like he took away from it, like, compared to how she did it and how he did it? Do you think he made it bigger and livelier, or?
I mean, the song is very popular, and I think maybe sometimes it's personality too. I mean, you know, but it also could be based off of maybe if she would have gotten more exposure.
True.
Then maybe he wouldn't have had it as popular, and being a white male and she was a black woman, you know, that comes into play as well. And I think that we should play a clip of his version, so then, you know, we could hear the difference. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and listen to that clip.
Okay. So that was Elvis's clip version. So you hear it's like more upbeat. And it was mainstream, popular. Like
we all know this version.
Exactly. Yeah. We all know this version. You know, luckily with technology that we have, or thankfully, we can find out original content, because back then, knowing what the original is, like, word of mouth.
Yeah. Because I've never heard of her, honestly.
Yeah.
Until you brought her up, I had never heard of Big Mama Thornton. Yeah, I've never heard of her until you brought it up. So,
have you heard that song by Doja Cat called Vegas?
Possibly.
the hound dog.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
they used her soundbite
Okay.
in that song.
Okay.
So they used her, which is kind of like a, hey, giving homage to
the original.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So like Elvis's version, the one that came out in 1956, it ranked number 19 on the Rolling Stones like top 500 in the year 2004. And his version sold out about 10 million copies globally, making it his highest best-selling song. When Big Mama Thornton did her version, which was back in 1953, so 3 years beforehand, which back then is like no time because it took longer for records to come out. It took songs played longer. So she pretty much was stepped on in a sense, even though it was done 3 years prior. And hers version of Hound Dog only sold about 500 copies, spending, and not doing too bad, spending about 14 weeks in the R&B chart. And also she was ranked in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, in 2021, I believe. And I think that year they excluded Elvis Presley's version. So I guess not to compete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or just to give, her the proper credit. And something I didn't even know, but this particular song has been recorded about 250 times.
That's crazy.
I'm like, by who? Like, because I've
only heard it, since that one time, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know. So, and then also, it's the song because of the time period that it was in, and with people taking concepts and ideas. This song was actually in the middle of like several controversies, lawsuits, disputes, royalty, copyright infringement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that took longer because of the way that certain laws dealt with Black people or, Black things. And that's kind of like the concept with Betty Boop. The cartoon was, I guess, being sued by, I forgot her name, but I'll have to look it up. But it was a young white lady who was trying to sue this cartoon company for stealing her likeness.
Yeah.
But the truth was
She's
she
a
stole
black
her
lady.
likeness from another Black person. So it's like, how do you have the nerve to try to sue somebody?
The caucasity.
Like, to try to sue someone. Yeah. When you took it. So, yeah.
She tried to Milli Vanilli the Betty Boop.
Girl, you know it's true.
Hey. I want you. We just bust out in the song.
Heck yes. That's what I love. And
but they do that a lot. Cover something and try to make it seem like it's theirs. And there's tons. Me and my boyfriend was listening to some stuff and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a cover. I didn't know that's who sung that first. So yeah, it's a lot of that going around.
I guess maybe that's why they came out with the word cover to cover their butts. Like,
definitely.
We didn't steal it. We just covered it.
We're a cover band.
Nice. But yeah, I thought I shared that little tidbit of history that, some people may not have known, or if they did know, they might know more. You can definitely like conversate on like that with our Instagram page, our Instagram, Facebook, page, and just give us like any history
insight,
that you know about it as well.
Most definitely. We want to know your opinions on what she shared about Mama Thorpe, how you feel about Elvis and people doing covers of other people's songs. Just give us your opinion. And if you have an artist, like she said, that you want us to do, just reach out and let us know. You can find us on Facebook, Not Your Average Podcast, and on Instagram, _Average Podcast TX.
Awesome. That's great.
Welcome to our new segment called Your Next Favorite Artist, where we introduce local artists to you and you give us your opinions on what you think. Try not to be too rude because these are artists and they're sensitive about their shit.
So today's artist, we're talking about Big Tone P. He's from Austin, Texas. He's been doing music for over 25 years. He owns Male Root Entertainment, and he manages currently 4 artists He also is a ghostwriter as well. He sent in some of his music, and we're going to take a listen to it.
Okay, that was Tone P with his song Never Ever. Make sure you guys go check him out on Spotify and all of his social media handles.
All right, so welcome to our question of the week, where we ask Facebook questions to the listeners and you give us what you think. So our Facebook question of the week was, how do you feel about having pets? Do you treat your pet better than people? Or do you buy your pet clothes? If so, for everyday wear or just the holidays?
That's a good question.
Thank you. So we have an answer from Cynthia. First, she said 1. For me, pets are my life. They are immersed joy and companionship. I absolutely love my pets. 2, do I treat my pets better than people? Yes, I definitely treat my dogs better than people on some days. I feel they are better than people sometimes because of their unconditional love and loyalty. Do you buy your pet clothes? I buy my pet clothes. They have sweaters and jackets for cold weather to keep them comfortable. While I occasionally buy them other clothes, these are mostly worn during festive times for a bit of fun and joy.
Nice. I like that. I
me.
saw a post that came in from Dee Dee Ruffin. She was like, I love my dog. I don't think I treat her better than humans, but I damn sure treat her better. Shit. Let me start over with that. So she basically says, I love my dog. I don't think I treat her better than humans, but I damn sure don't treat humans better than her.
Yeah.
I don't buy clothes per se, but she does have a couple of coats too for when it's outside.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
We have an answer from Joe. He said, my 2 dogs are immediate family now. The big one is just my mute toddler. The little one is mischievous 4th grader. I try to treat them as well as people, not better or worse. They get clothes for winter events, sweaters for cold, and raincoats.
Okay, I like that.
Little raincoats are cute.
They are, yeah, because they had posted some pictures on our Facebook page and some videos as well, and the dogs are just so adorable.
Yeah.
They're just so cute. Let's see. I see Jasmine Taylor, she wrote in, she said, pets are like family to me. I treat my pets better than people, definitely. I am an animal person first, then a people person. She said they gotta be dripped like mama, mainly holidays and cold weather. So I'm assuming that's like the sweaters and stuff. And everybody loves to be in the drip drop,
I know, right? We have a post from Ebony Nicole. I be ready to go to war about my fur babies, and they have matching clothes. And she is the one who submitted the videos, and she has 2 dogs and their little plaid sweaters. They're adorable. We'll post that on our Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, those pictures are cute up there. There's a Rari Gelato, and she says, I love having fur babies. They are treated well, not like a real baby, but close. I don't buy pet clothes.
Okay.
It's not for everybody.
It's not. Then we have a Curtis Lewis. He said, it's definitely a great way to have a little companion to play with. It's also great therapy. Just like kids, they can also get on your nerves. No, I wouldn't say I treat them better than people. They do have needs. They can't talk sometimes, so you need to go that extra mile. And LOL, I do not buy them clothes. Absolutely not.
It seems like, either you buy them the clothes or you don't buy them the clothes. It's like people draw the line and they're like, I'm not doing it
at all.
It's okay. I'm in between. It depends. Like sometimes I'll get them little costumes or little outfits.
I bought Dior something when she was little, and I tried it again, but she's not keeping that stuff on. It's not.
She like rubs it off or something.
Tries to bite it off. Yeah.
Nisha Moblin wrote in, I do have pets. I do treat them better than some people. I always had the thought to be loved, unloved. They are family. They have feelings that matter. They have Halloween costumes, but they prefer not to be clothed. They are also inside dogs, so they don't really need clothing, in my opinion. And she brought in some pictures and videos, and they were just so cute.
They are.
Their little tongues hanging out. They're like, look at me, I'm on camera.
Right. So that concludes our question of the week. Make sure you check out our Facebook page and our Instagram so you can put your comments in. We try to post them every week. As soon as our episode is posted, that way you can go ahead and have time to answer those questions.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Again, thank you all for who did answer those questions. We appreciate it greatly.
Thank you so much.
What's going down with it, man? It's your boy Big Tone P, Mail Route Entertainment in the building, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go follow me on IG, big_tone_P, and Big Tone P on YouTube. Go like and subscribe to that channel. Shout out to Yoko Camille and Lady Roscoe. Not Your Average Podcast, man. Shout out. Much love, you know what I'm saying? Peace.
Welcome to Around the World and Back, where we talk about things that happened in the past and current events. Current events.
Sit back and enjoy the ride.
All right, so I wanted to talk about a local tragedy that happened here in around Austin and in San Antonio. There was a young lady by the name of Savannah Soto. Her and her unborn child and her baby were killed this past week. She was due to be induced on Christmas. She was supposed to be there at 6 o'clock and she didn't show up. And her mother went looking for her and she was nowhere to be found. And they sent out a search party. They did not find them for about 3 to 4 days, and they found them in the passenger seat and back seat of their vehicle, both shot in the head, back of the head. She had her car seat carrier covering her stomach, basically trying to protect her baby.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and I think that is a very sad situation.
Yeah.
And it sort of hits on the last episode where we say you have to be safe and aware of your surroundings.
Right.
Because you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
There have been tons of TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram posts talking about this tragedy.
The two young
people, yeah. They were saying that he was involved in some things that he didn't have any business being in, and it was his fault. But also there are articles saying that, or posts saying that it was something to do with her family because her brother was killed like a few months prior. So it's just so much in this case. But
yeah, that's so sad to be a parent to lose multiple children, especially in the same year.
Yes, and they're so young. They were 19 years old, maybe.
Right. Didn't even get to live life.
They didn't. And her mom's birthday was this past week also.
Oh.
So, she had to celebrate losing her daughter and granddaughter and then her son a few months prior. So she's really going through it. And I saw a bunch of trolls.
Oh, that's awful.
Saying really, really mean and derogatory things to the mother.
I don't understand how people just don't have a soul.
I don't. Like, how can you be so callous to say, oh, you can protect your kids? What can you do? It's just hurtful. They are going back and doing all this digging and research on this guy, just trying to pinpoint. No, the boyfriend, just trying to see, oh, he was selling drugs here and he was doing this. So he was involved in this lifestyle. So if he hadn't been involved in this lifestyle, none of this would have happened. You don't know what.
People don't deserve that, especially so young,
And her baby didn't do anything.
Like, why would you? And like, that's my thing too, is like, you see that this girl is very pregnant. She's about to give birth and you just don't care. You just killed the both of them.
There was a young lady who made an Instagram post talking about, oh, well, you should have fought when you had the chance and your boyfriend shouldn't have had a beef with my boyfriend. And just talking about she doesn't care about that she was pregnant and all that. She shouldn't have been talking crap. And
why are we doing this on social media if she's the one that's involved?
At 17-year-old, how do you not have a soul, a conscience? Like, where is your moral fiber of goodness? Like,
how would you feel if you lost someone who was supposed to have a baby, a cousin, a relative, somebody.
Apparently, she doesn't care. She just wants retaliation. She feels like what they do and say is right, and if you cross them, then it's your life.
I feel like social media has a part to play with this a lot, with the numbing of society and how people just, you're first off, you're flexing online.
Definitely.
And then second, like you disregard of life anyways, like any type of life. So that's a very sad situation.
It is.
And that definitely just mind you, like, be safe. Don't just take advantage of, you think that the environment that you're in is just okay. Like, always be vigilant.
That's true. I tend to get stuck looking at this case because I have went down a whole rabbit hole, and the only thing I'm not doing is downloading the Telegram app because I don't want to see or listen to any of the things that they said were on there because it's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
And they even said that it was a video or a picture going around of him in the back seat, laid down,
wow.
with his pants down, and that's so sad because what if a family member sees that?
Right. No one wants to have that as in their last memories
At all. So yeah, that's the topic that I saw that was weighing deeply on my heart. So I just want to share that with the listeners and remind you to be careful of your surroundings and the people that you're hanging around, because you never know what their intentions are, if they are plotting against you and they're really your friends. We have had many news articles, new articles about people that go missing. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, I mean, my topics aren't so deep, but I like talking about what we were talking about earlier about the pets and everything. So I felt like today was a good episode because it's a good way to bring in the new year.
Most definitely.
And I like the fact that we keep our audiences engaged with the social media. So I'm super thankful that, they actually take the time and write stuff out, because they do write paragraphs.
Most definitely.
And I like that. I want to make sure that they know that we're engaged with them. We definitely do engage with you guys, and we keep our interaction as well.
Yes. And we do have poll questions at the end of each episode. So if you're on Spotify, you can definitely go to the episode, and there are questions that you can answer to let us know what you think about this episode. And then there's also a poll question that will either have to do with the topic that we talked about or the next episode's topic. So that way you'll know what our next episode is about.
Yeah, so definitely just look into that and just keep interaction, because we want to hear what you guys have to say.
And then I also wanted to let you all know that me and Miss Lady Roscoe here have been in a Tubi movie that you can go and find it. It is called Bite Size Theater. Again, it's on Tubi, and when I tell you, you will enjoy it. There are several little segments in there, and each of them will definitely make you laugh.
Right, they're definitely, and some might be a little dramatic as well, but that's intense. It's the intensity, and it brings you in. So definitely, like she said, check it out there. And we also did another project. There's a pilot on YouTube, and the show's been called
Public Nightmares Relations.
Public
Relations Nightmares. I'm sorry, Public Relations Nightmare.
Yeah, so
you can definitely see a clip of that on YouTube.
And check us out. Like I said, it was our pilot, and we filmed the rest of it. We just are waiting to
have it distributed and get some of these other episodes down. But you can go to YouTube and look on, his name is Marcus Wallace, and all of our YouTube skits that we have done, you can go on there and find them. He has plenty of those, so definitely when you have the time, go on there and look at those. And before we get out of here, I just want to tell you all again that you can find us on Instagram, _your average podcast TX, and you can find us on Facebook at Not Your Average Podcast with Yoko Camille and Lady Roscoe, but it's backwards. Her name's first. And you can find me personally on IG at Yoko Camille, YOKKO CAMILLE, and also on Facebook, Yoko Stackhouse and Yoko Camille.
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Lady Roscoe, LAYDIE_Roscoe, ROSCOE. And like I said, we are working on our YouTube, so definitely be on the lookout for that.
Yes, we'll try to put any tips and articles that we included in this podcast, this episode, onto our Instagram page. So make sure you look out for that. And we hope you all enjoyed our show.
Thank you.
And you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Average about it, just keep glad that you found it. Tell a friend about it, know we all about it, so we gon' speak about it. Yoko, Camille, and Lady Roscoe, leave no doubt about it. Scream it out from the mouth. This not your average podcast. You ain't talking about nothing. When they hit the highway, yeah, they talking about something. Better tune in and listen. Get the scoop, they dig it. It's just an open discussion. Now tell me what's your position. You know what it is. Not your average podcast. You know what I'm saying? Yoko, Camille, Lady Roscoe, y'all tap in. You know what I'm saying?